What's going on, dudes and dudettes? It's Pip Surfer with another daily update for the Cowabunga system. Today is Tuesday, January 5th, 2010, and I hope you all had a great holiday season. I know I didn't get to post last week, and I gotta be honest with you, I was just enjoying my vacation a little too much. But I gotta tell you, it's really refreshing to come back, and it makes you miss the markets even more when you're away. So anyways, it was just a great time, and I hope you all had a great time too. And I hope you're ready to get back into it, into what we're doing and trying to learn and get better at our craft. So anyways, let's just get right into today's update. First thing I want to say, of course, is my disclaimer that if this is your first time watching this video, click on the link right above it that says if this is your first time visiting the blog, read this first. You're going to click on that. It's got the rules to the system. Read it, learn it, and then come back. And these videos will make a lot more sense, because otherwise you're really not going to know what we're talking about. And for those of you that are regulars, you know, I just say that just so I don't waste people's time. And now that you're back, let's go ahead and start on the update. And of course I have my 15-minute, my 4-hour chart open. It's a good learning day today, and I'm really glad and excited for you guys to see these charts, because there's a couple of touchy things going on here, and I want to cover them because I know it could have been confusing for you. So I'm going to open up my 4-hour chart and move it back to before midnight. This is my 11 o'clock candle, 11 p.m., and it closes at 3 a.m. Eastern time. And you can see that it closed, and when it closed, it made a crossover to the downside, which is a indicator for us that we could have a possible trend change candle. However, the indicators must match up. If I look at RSI, it's supposed to be below 50, but you can see at the close of the candle it's actually above 50. Stochastics looks like it's trending down, so that's okay, but again, RSI is not below 50, so this does not make a new trend change candle because it's not valid, because all the indicators don't line up. So in this case, what you got to do is you still have to go by the other trend change candle, the most recent trend change candle, which you have to go back here is for an uptrend, and that was on the 30th of December. So this trend change candle is not valid. What we have to do is wait for the next candle to close, and if we see RSI drop below 50, then we will have a confirmed trend change candle at that point. But at this point in time, at 3 a.m. at the close of this candle, it is not a new trend change candle. Therefore, we are still looking for long trades. Now, if I move my chart forward, you can see the very next candle, we did see a drop, and then RSI did go below 50, and stochastics, of course, are trending down. So this makes this the valid trend change candle. So at the close of this candle, now we have a new trend because the indicators match up. Now, had this candle gone up and totally messed up the indicators, then that would have showed us that it wasn't a real trend. But because the price did continue to move down and the indicators did line up at the close of this candle, which would be at 7 a.m. Eastern time, now we have a new trend change, and now we can begin looking for short trades. And if I move my chart forward, you can see it stayed down the rest of the day. Okay, so let me recap. Here's 11 p.m. closes at 3 a.m. We get a possible trend change candle, but because indicators don't match up, we have to wait and see what happens until the next candle. So at this point, we're still only looking for long trades. Now, next candle, we see that it has continued to move down. Indicators now match up. Now our trend change candle is valid. Now at the close of this candle at 7 a.m., we can look for short trades. And the rest of the day, we continue to look for only short trades. Okay, so that could be a little confusing, but hopefully that made sense. If you have questions, go back, rewind the video. That's why it's a video, and you can rewatch it. Alright, so now I'm at my 15-minute chart, and this is before midnight. Of course, I'm going to look at my news events first. I just go to babypips.com, click on the Tools tab, pulls up the news events for the day. Just make sure this drop-down bar is on the correct time zone for you. Really, we're just looking for news that affects the sterling or the dollar. At 4:30, we had UK PMI construction. 8 o'clock, we had a speaker speaking there, but not really important. I don't really tend to pay attention to speakers unless it's someone like Bernanke and he's talking about something really important. So didn't factor that in. 10 a.m. we did have a few more news events, so I did factor those in. So basically 4:30 and 10 a.m. were the two time areas that I was watching out for. So I just jot those down and make sure that I'm not in the market at those times. So now I can begin looking for my trades. Remember, at this point, I'm still only looking for long trades. Okay. Right here, we actually it's not a crossover. Excuse me. It just looks like it is because it's really close, but it's not. And all right, at this point, we're still looking for long trades. 3 a.m. Remember, I looked at my 4-hour chart. It looks like a trend change candle, but it's not because the indicators don't confirm it. So we're still only looking for long trades at this point. Okay. It's 5:30, 5:45, 6:15. Okay, here's 7 o'clock. Now I look at my chart. Now I see that the trend change candle has confirmed a downtrend because the indicators now match up. So at this point, now I can look for short trades. Okay. Here we get a crossover. This is at 8:30. R size below 50. Stochastics trending down. MACD is positive and losing value. This is a valid entry. You want to enter at the close of the candle or as close to it as possible, and that's at 60.08. Okay. Our stop's going to be at the most recent swing high at 60.52. And we're only 8 pips away from 6,000, so we don't want to use that as our target. We're going to go for the same amount of pips we're risking on the trade, which in this case is 44. So we just subtract 44 from 60.08, and we get a target at 59.64. Okay, that way it gives us a 1-to-1 reward to risk ratio. And I can't get it right on it. It's close enough. Now we'll move forward, and remember we have news at 10. Now my target or stop is not hit by this point, and it's 9:45, so I'm just going to close out my trade here because I don't want to be in the market when news comes out. So I just manually exit at the close of the candle, which is at 60.43. Saved us a few pips there. So it's a negative trade, but again, we don't want to be in during the news. So we just exit. There's the news candle. Again, still looking for just short trades. Here we get a short trade. This is at 11:15. Closes at 60.13. Our stop's going to be at the most recent swing high at 60.66. Again, 13 pips to 6,000 isn't that much. So we're going to go for the same amount of pips we risked on this trade again, which is 53. So I'm just going to take 60.13 and subtract 53. And I get a target at 59.60. Okay, and now it is noon, so at this point it's very discretionary. Market volume has died down, so you're not looking for too much here. If you can get close to your target or whatever, then you can exit. You can exit whenever you really want to. And this was a very good candle. This is the candle I actually exited on because it dropped so close to my target. And at this point, I'm very lucky that you know, with the market volume being kind of low at this point in time, that it even went this close to my target. So I'm just going to go ahead and manually exit here, and I'm already in profit. Yeah, it didn't hit our target exactly, but I mean, come on, you got a trade late in the day, which is pretty good. So you just want to close out here, and that's what I did, and I got out at 59.68. So not quite at our target, but it's still a win. And again, it's really up to you when you want to target. Take out your trade. The only thing I would say is that don't hold it past 4 p.m. Eastern time, because by that point you're really just you know, in no man's land because the market is pretty much dead at that point. So that was a really good point to exit. You may have gotten a little before or after. It doesn't really matter. Even if you got in on these candles afterwards, you still had some time to kind of make a decision there. So it's really discretionary at that point. But all right, so a lot of stuff today. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask it on the blog. I'm running out of time, and I'll try to answer them as best as I can, or ask them in the forums, and I'm sure somebody will help you. But that's it for today, and I will see you all in the next update. Cowabunga, dudes.